Well, I found out that my YouTube channel, Modest Mike, I I cannot live stream or upload any videos for 1 week due to a copyright strike I obtained just last night. Actually, I never know what material I'm allowed or not allowed to show because whenever I live stream, of course I do it in real time, so I don't know what is protected by copyright and what is not. And apparently, I was live streaming people's reviews, reactions, and some other content about the movie Thunderbolts as well as Sinners, because those are the two highest grossing films out right now, Sinners and Thunderbolts, which is called The New Avengers. And so I was like live streaming, videos that people were saying about the box office, their reviews, how well it's doing, and how they think it'll perform. And I just so happened to be live streaming some interviews of cast members, them giving their experience and doing different things like talking about, trivia games on certain shows. Like, they have things like Something Magazine or whatever. And I figured, I don't know what is copyrighted and what is not. So I don't know how YouTube, goes about its copyright. It's just like, it's such a gray area. It's so confusing. And so that's why I'm not apologizing, because I'm just making the same mistake, steadily trying to, live stream. I mean, if you're live streaming and they say use your own content when you upload a live stream. Okay, if you're uploading videos, of course you make videos, but if you're live streaming, what qualifies as your own content? Like, it's not just gonna be my talking head, talking. It's gonna be me streaming something on my browser window. That's why you have applications like OBS Studio that's made to live stream, your desktop and your videos that you're watching, right? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like certain content is not allowed, but certain content is allowed. And they always say you're streaming copyrighted content, the audio and video content belonging to someone else. So your stream is blocked. My stream has been blocked temporarily. It's been like, I've gotten a warning. They give you a warning first, and if you keep doing it, they'll block this live stream, and they'll re-enable the live stream once you stop streaming the content belonging to someone else. And it's happened to me several times, and finally they just gave me a strike. And it's like, the reason why it keeps happening is because I'm not sure about which content is copyrighted and which is not. And if I told them that, they would just send me like a link telling me what copyright is and what copyright material is and all what it means. I know the definition. I know the legal definition of copyright material. I know what it is according to, textbook. But when it comes to real world, I want to know what they consider copyright, according to their definition. So, and they never really tell you, what is copyright and what is not. They never give you examples. I need real world examples as to what copyright is and what is not. Not when it comes to uploading, but when it comes to live stream. So if I'm live streaming, obviously it's like if I'm live streaming my video game, a video game that I'm playing, I know that it's not mine. Even if I pay for a copy, the content is not mine. So why am I allowed to live stream a video game without getting a strike? Why am I allowed to live stream certain content and I'm not allowed to live stream other content? And see, this dilemma messes with the creator's creativity. You can't be a YouTube creator or content creator if you're not allowed to live stream or upload certain material. And I know that you need to obtain rights to live stream stuff like music, or upload stuff like music, certain songs that are copyrighted. I get that. That's a big deal. Certain images, definitely, that are not protected by copyright. It has to be like fair use or fair use distribution or educational purpose only. I get that. But it was all about an interview of cast members with the interviewer. Most interviews they allow, but for some reason, certain content, certain interviews they don't allow. It's the same thing with these whenever celebrities, they get called in to do some kind of trivia game with the cast members. They'll sit down in front of somebody and they'll answer questions like on those little cards. What was your favorite acting moment that really got you into acting? Name one movie that this person has been in the past 2 years and they were acting with such and such actor. What 2 other films were both actors from Thunderbolts in before they were in Thunderbolts? Those kind of things. And while I was live streaming one of those, I get the copyright strike. So, I've argued about this in my video editing class, because when you're doing editing, you're including footage that's, may or may not be copyrighted. If you're borrowing footage that's like not stock footage and you have to obtain the rights and whatnot, unless you're doing it for educational purposes. If you're doing it for like a college class for educational and demonstration purposes, that's different. But if you're uploading it to YouTube on your own channel for the sole purpose of making entertainment content or for the sole purpose of trying to make money, which a lot of people do, you're not allowed to do that. And I find that weird, because most movie reviews, they include parts of the trailer. They download the trailer of the film, they cut it in whatever editing software they use, DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, Avid. They cut the trailer and they split it amongst the review. And how is it that they are allowed to do that, but I can't do it? It's like, whenever they see my face, they see the tone of my skin, the color of my skin, don't let that mixed boy live stream. It seems to be racially related, which I think is why a lot of people, when they make reviews, they don't even use their face. It's kind of split halfway. Some reviews they use their face, some reviews they don't use their face. And then, some reviews they use their face and they use a part of the trailer content or whatever content they can find. If they find some kind of report from Variety about the reviews of the film or the box office of the film, then they'll include that. Whatever helps their argument in their video. And other times they'll just be straight trailer footage, maybe an animation here and there. And whatever stuff is not their own, that they don't shoot or make themselves, obviously it was made by somebody else, therefore it belongs to somebody else. In the aspect of a trailer is free to watch. They distribute that on the internet for free, because you're not going to pay to see a trailer. Since you're not going to pay to see a trailer, it shouldn't be a problem to use a trailer in your review. I'm not using footage from the movie, I'm using footage from the trailer. And I shouldn't even have to state that. Like, they should know that. But yet, it's a copyright. And so I want to know how people are able to do it, how professionally people are able to do it. People like the Critical Drinker and Adam Does Movies, so he pretty much just uses his own talking head, but he does incorporate some aspects of the trailer. And I'm saying this because even the Critical Drinker has used footage that looks like, recorded video of the movie. Like, he recorded some of the video, some of the movie. You can tell the quality of it, like if somebody had pulled out their phone and recorded a little piece of the movie. You can tell. And he even does that. And sometimes he'll flip it so that it's shown backwards, right? It's flipped around, it's rotated around, so that somehow it's protected from copyright. And I was told by my professor that flipping it doesn't really keep it from being detected by the algorithm. But yet, I think the algorithm chooses to leave some people alone. But for the sake of being legal, it's been programmed to give community strikes on accounts that are not those popular accounts. Popular accounts like The Critical Drinker, Adam Does Movies, Snarky J, any channel that generates a lot of subscribers and views and clicks and likes is doing favors for YouTube in general. Therefore, favors for the algorithm. So the algorithm has been programmed to not mess with those accounts, even if they use copyrighted material. So those creators, those people, they get free reign on using copyrighted material. You know, they're not penalized in a way. They're not penalized. You know, they're treating them like they're celebrities, like they can get away with anything. While people like me that are trying to get up there, you know, that are trying to get more views and more subscribers and trying to get that, we're penalized if we ever try to, you know, include so much as a trailer, which is free to use. You know, I'm not going to go in the theater and record any part of a movie. I don't ever do that. I report people like that. And, you know, if I see somebody use part of a trailer, I try to report that to make the algorithm aware that if you're gonna give me a strike, you need to give these people a strike. And I'm sensing that it's unfair because, you know, YouTube is owned by Google, so it is a corporation. So of course, with all corporations, there's a certain amount of favoritism and amount of unfairness. If you're favoring other content creators, some content creators over others, that's illegal. That's discrimination. You know, that's because favoritism automatically equals discrimination on someone else. And discrimination based on what? I mean, it's not race, it's not religion, it's not, you know, it's still discrimination. I could say based on, you know, my income. Discrimination based on subscriber count, my account, you know. And this is why people like Critical Drinker, I learn to not really like. At first I'm excited, I like them, I subscribe. But then when I start watching reviews, I start judging whether or not this person may be an authority on the subject. For example, he didn't like Thunderbolts. And he couldn't offer a valid argument as to why he did not like Thunderbolts. It's just the same old shit, whatever. And he's just saying that because he really didn't pay attention to it. His mind was already made up before he saw the movie. He just wants to validate how he initially felt about the movie. And to me, that's not an honest opinion. So why should he have so many followers? So I'm going to be reporting this stuff to YouTube. I'm going to be appealing my case and I'm going to get in touch with the YouTube executives and make an argument about you're picking and choosing who is allowed to have copyright material and who is penalized and who is not penalized. Because YouTube is not backed up. YouTube is not taken care of by all these celebrity accounts like Snarky J and The Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic and Film Threat. It's meant for people like me, the casual creator, you know, the casual viewer. We're the backbone of YouTube. We're the ones that keep it running. Without us, you have no streaming platform.